What's up, Hebrews? It's your boy, y'all's chosen one. It's kind of early. I can't get to sleep, but it's always time for the word, man. Just been studying, man. It's a lot of new age stuff out here this day and age, and just want to make sure my people don't fall prey to that stuff. Because we're spiritual people, we always try to fall prey to something new, and you know, and the Most High said we would serve their gods. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, he said we'll come over here and we'll serve their gods, and that's what we do. And we got to make sure we stay on the right track and sticking with our power, which is Yah. Now, as a kid, growing up, you heard stories, when you was a kid about giants and stuff and fables and myths and all that. When you was a kid, you thought it was true, it was good. And as you got older, something stopped. Something's like, there's nothing such thing as fairy tales. It's spooky stuff. Nah, man. What if I told you that stuff is true? What if I told you that elitists of the world know that stuff is true, and some of the movies that you watch that are epic are based off what the Bible said and it can actually happen? Well, I'm going to play spoiler and tell you that it did happen. And we can start with King Arthur, man. You heard, we'll just give examples like King Arthur. We heard that he fought giants. You know what I'm saying? The Hindus had the Daityas. I read about the Daityas, and the Romans had the Titans, and the Greeks had the Gigantos. Sometimes in some movies you see them as Cyclops and things like that, but they was giants. They were tall. And in the Romans and Greeks, we had the offspring from Tartarus. And if you know anything about Tartarus, that is the state that the fallen angels are in right now. They're in a state called Tartarus. They're in a state of being bound up right now. That's the lowest depths of hell is Tartarus. And Tartarus made it with a mother god like Gaia. You ever play God of War? That's the earth goddess. Or Ashtaroth or Ishtar, Isis, Venus. It doesn't change. The name changes, but with those female deities, they worship her. Those followers worship her through fertility. You know what I'm saying? These are fertility gods, goddesses, I should say. Gaia, Ashtaroth, Ishtar, Isis, Venus. The names change, but they stay the same through each civilization. It's the same person through each civilization. You heard of things like Jack and the Beanstalk, and you go to like in London, like in British folklore, they got these two giants that protect London. What are they called? Like Magog and Gog. These two creatures, you read in Ezekiel chapter 38, they are chief princes. And most of the time when you see chief princes in the Bible, that's not talking about an actual de facto human being. Most of the time that's talking about a spirit that reigns over that particular area. That's talking about a spirit. Heard the story about Diocletian, who had those 33 wicked daughters, and she found 33 husbands for him. I mean, her father, she was so wicked that her father had to find them 33 husbands for him, and that was to try to, I guess, get them in line. But they ended up killing their husbands, and Alba, the eldest sister of the 33, They were banished and they were set adrift into a sea, and they were shipwrecked in a place called Albion, which in today is modern day England. And they met up with these demons and they birthed what? Gog and Magog. These were giants. How about the story of, for all you Egyptologists, how about the story of Isis? Isis and Horus, Isis and Osiris. Osiris' body was found floating down the water. And then what happened? They created Horus, right? Everyone and every civilization has a flood story, right? You got the Illuminati, you have these Babylonian and Sumerian, all these stories about a world flood. You know what I'm saying? Even the story of Atlantis is about a flood. It's about these doggone these 10 gods who are ruling this place, and they got one demigod as their leader. He's half human, half god. That's what a demigod is. It's a human and god hybrid, so it's a demigod. You ever play like God of War? Kratos is a demigod because he's from Zeus, and I forgot who his mother is, but I think he's a demigod. Even in American folklore, man, you think about Paul Bunyan, and he had his blue ox with him. He was a giant. So that gets me down here, like, how did these giants come about? How did they come about? So we got Genesis chapter 6. Go to verse 4. So Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. And you gotta remember, this was Moses writing about all this. You know what I'm saying? This is how people say, how can Moses write about his own death? Well, he was with the Most High for 40 days and 40 nights. So he could write about the future. He could write about the past. He could write about anything. There was more than what the Most High was doing to Moses when he was on top of that mountain, man. He was giving him all the secrets of the world. He was giving him everything, man. It was... he just went up there giving them 10 commandments when he was up there. Could have did that in 10 minutes. He was giving them all the secrets of the world and everything. So in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, we have, what does it read? I don't want that new English version. I don't want that new international version, because they sometimes take out the word giants. But there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, who are the Malachim, who are the angels, came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children. So you see that Malachim, people like calling spirits all the time, but throughout the Bible, it's not just like you touch them and you go through them. There's actually places in the Bible where they actually have a physical form. You know what I'm saying? Abraham told his servants to wash their feet and everything. Those are Malachim. And what does it say? They bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Now let's read the first sentence again. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. Now we know the flood was supposed to have wiped out everybody on the first face of the earth, right? Except Ham, Shem, and Japheth and their wives, and Noah and his wife, and all the animals. So the whole thing is, how did those giants get back on the earth after the flood? Now, I got two things about that. Either those fallen angels, because they wiped out all flesh from the face of the earth, and then maybe didn't wipe out all those Malachim. Maybe they started when Noah and his sons start producing kids again. Maybe they start getting corrupted with those fallen angels again, or maybe the seeds of Japheth and Ham, through their wives, something was wrong with their wives, was corrupted. And it said the generations of Noah was perfect. That included Noah and his 3 sons, but it didn't say anything about the wives being perfect, because he said all the flesh of the world was corrupted. So that's one of two things: either their wives had some corruptness about them, or these fallen Malachims started producing with daughters of men again upon the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm gonna make each video about 12 minutes long. I'm gonna, I got about 1 more minute on here. All right, so we get to so now you see where these giants come from. It says specifically giant, and the only giant that a lot of people know about is Goliath. So if you believe in Goliath, how come you can't believe in other giants? Huh? Let's go to Genesis chapter 14. For all you Egyptologists, this is really, and all you people who I don't know, man. When you're doing these other beliefs and everything, you gotta know, man, where this stuff come from. So we have Chedorlaomer, the king of Elam, and with title, king of nations, and Amraphel. All you Egyptologists will know Amraphel was Nimrod. Amraphel is Nimrod. All right. Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings with 5. All right. So when you read in your Bible, you have these words for giants. You can look them up in your Strong's Concordance. You have Nephil, you have Rapha, and you have Geber. And that 12 minutes is done, and we'll start on the next video. Shalom.